Hello and welcome again to another Thursday Thought. I'm the Reverend Gary Simmons here at St George's Church in Glasgow in Tamworth. Today, I've just discovered, as I listen to the radio, waking up, is World Book Day. I love books. My wife will tell you I've got too many and we need to downsize. I'm very grateful for being encouraged to read from an early age and folk who read to me, and I've always loved books, reading fiction and non-fiction. There's a great value, enjoyment, benefit of reading that helps us in every part of our lives. It's a real privilege to be able to read and to encourage others. World Book Day is particularly loved by our schools. They like to dress up. Sadly, not so many are fully back at the moment, though those who've gone in today, I'm sure, have had a good time. Maybe they'll connect again in a few weeks' time. Do you have a favourite book? Can you remember the first book that you read for yourself? Or what's the latest book that you're reading at the moment? Not all of us are into reading, I quite understand that, but it does give a lot of pleasure. I'll often look in the newspapers and see what's on the bestseller lists of non-fiction and fiction, and see what's there, see what might take my interest. One book, of course, that is never there because it would top the list of the non-fiction books every time is the Bible. It is top of the bestseller week after week after week. It's an incredible book. I don't know whether you've read any of it, currently reading a bit here and there. It's a book about God's story, who God is, his purposes for the world, for our lives. It's a book that speaks to us of Jesus, who he is, why he came, the difference he can make in our lives. Yes, it's a difficult book. It doesn't mean everything there is easy, but it's also wonderful and exciting and life-changing. It's a book that's relevant, I believe. It speaks about relationships, about money, about forgiveness, about work, how we use our time, how we care for our world. It speaks about grief and love and hope and death and so much more. It's God's story, and it's God's story for you and me. It's precious. I'm very grateful to be able to have a Bible that I can access and pick up at any time. And of course, now we can get things online on our mobiles, on apps, or what have you, even if you haven't got a physical Bible in your house. But it's really great to have one. I can remember hearing stories of folk in the past where they may have managed to get a Bible into a place or a country where they hadn't got access to the Bible in their language. And maybe they just got one Bible there. And stories are of people receiving that into a community and doing something quite strange. Tearing the pages out. And why were they doing that? So that they could pass the pages amongst so many different people. So instead of one person having the Bible, 200 or 300 might have had a couple of pages each, and then they would pass them around because it was so precious, a precious gift. There's lots more we could say. This is just a short thought for today, for World Book Day, and saying, what about the Bible? So, a couple of challenges. If you're not particularly familiar with reading the Bible, a challenge to say, why not between now and Easter, simply read one of the Gospels. Perhaps Mark, the shortest, John, that is quite interesting and has a lot of different things to Mark contained within it. But read a Gospel between now and Easter. You've still got about 4 weeks. And just see what you make of it, how it might speak to you, what you discover about Jesus. And if the Bible is something that you might say, well, it is part of my life, my encouragement is to say maybe every day, start the day, if at all possible, but at least find some time within the day where you might read a few verses. Sit quietly for a few minutes. Ask God to speak afresh to you. Ask God to help you in your life as you read a few verses from the Bible. It can be life-changing. So on World Book Day, get stuck in to the Bible as well. God bless you.